Going on to you, Virgos. You have the Empress, the Chariot, the King of Wands, King of Cups, the Judgment, the Ace of Cups, the Four of Wands, the King of Pentacles, the Page of Swords, and the Strength card. A lot of you Virgos are being way more critical about the type of people that say that they're offering a cup to you, right? Let me show you what it is that I'm talking about. The Empress is about how it is that you're really learning that there's a reason for you Virgos to be so critical. That you have to be critical because a lot of people are out here playing games. A lot of people like to play stupid games. And so many people want to be a boss. So many people have this mentality of they can go around and do whatever they want to whomever they want, say whatever to whomever they want, go around disrespecting people who they really have no business disrespecting. But I ain't gonna say everybody, but the mentality comes from, I gotta put up this front because I want to be a boss. And a lot of you Virgos see that. So you realize that there is a need for the Virgos' critical nature. There's a need for the Virgos' critical nature. Because most of the times Virgos are right about people. But a lot of people think that you are being a party pooper when you tell them, listen, this person is about to betray you if you keep playing these games with these individuals. These individuals are not out here playing. These people will not rock with you the way you think they do. And what will happen? A lot of people will be like, oh, you don't know, right? The Chariot. A lot of people will be like, oh, no, you don't know what it is that you're talking about. Get with those very same people, and what happens? Those very same people end up betraying them the same way that the Virgos told them that they was going to betray you. But so many people spend so much time thinking that the Virgo is telling them to watch out for this or for that or whatever the situation is, because they want to have fun. But what they're not paying attention to is the coast clear? Is it safe enough to actually have the fun? Or are you really waiting on a disaster to happen? So the Chariot now is about you Virgos understanding that you just can't let people come into your defenses with just the typical I love yous, I care about you. They have to prove themselves in time. You have to see that these people are serious enough in time. You have to see it because a lot of you Virgos have let way too many people tell you bad advice. You need to be out here dating. Then when you look up, you start to see how these dysfunctional people, they can't pay their phone bill, they can't pay their rent, they can't pay this, they can't pay that. And then the King of Wands now but then they're giving you terrible advice. But the King of Wands represents, this means that a lot of you Virgos are justified in your criticalness. As long as it's not getting to a point of being overbearing where no one has any kind of fun around you with the real reason, where you're just stigmatic about everything, you Virgos now have a new sense of confidence. A lot of you Virgos are going to start telling people to shut up because again, people make terrible decisions. And a lot of you Virgos be trying to tell people, right? Because some people will even come to you Virgos asking for help. And you Virgos will tell these people, this person's about to do this. They don't like to listen. Boom, same thing. Even in your own life, you realize that that's what held you back. Listening to what the stupid individuals had to say about how it is that you Virgos should be dating X, Y, and Z, when these people are terrible individuals to be given dating advice because their perception is skewed. They don't know whether or not, I said this before, they don't know whether or not they're coming or going. And a lot of people like to make it seem as if I'm making this up. Pisces is the zodiac sign of the unknown, but Pisces is also the zodiac sign of confusion. Virgo is the exact opposite of Pisces. So Virgos, we tend to pull that type of polarity where people are confused as to whether or not they're coming or going when it comes to us. They all over the place. They don't even know how to make sense with their own stuff. They sound so stupid. So the King of Cups now represents, as a result of this, the King of Cups is more so about how, so a lot of you are paying attention to the quality of the people that say that they love you and stuff like this. You're going to take the time to get to know them. Yeah, they can talk all that stuff, but talk is cheap. Let's see if these people actually have any kind of anything special about them where they could really follow through with what it is that they say they're going to do. Because one of the things that most adults on the planet lack is follow through. A lot of people don't have the heart, regardless of how ugly sometimes certain things may get, to make a decision and then stick to it and follow through, to see something come into fruition, see it through. Right? People will, for instance, people will go ahead, hang out with you Virgos, completely write you off, tell you that they don't want to interact with you, even after you thinking that you're going well with them on the first date at the time that y'all hang out. And then you Virgos move on with your lives, right? You're not taking it so harshly. You're not taking it so personally. You moving on. They can't even seem to follow through with their own answer of them letting you know that they don't want to hang out. They don't want to hang out with you anymore. You know why? Because when you see them, they can't look at you in the eyes. No, follow through with the decision that you made. You wanted this. So keep your head up. Keep your head up. Feel good at the fact that you got to live with yourself with that decision. Don't put your head down. But a lot of people can't live with their decisions. So the thing about it is the judgment. They'd rather scapegoat you. They'd rather have you from a Pisces perspective, a hanged man perspective, where they have to scapegoat you for the fact that they're so busy chasing this confusion, this confused, warped idea of what they think a good relationship is supposed to be, that they put all of their broken imaginations onto you Virgos. The Ace of Cups. And this is where it gets real good, because a lot of you Virgos don't care about that, because you can take it or leave it, as I said before. A lot of you Virgos can take it or leave it. The Four of Wands now is also, this represents how a lot of you Virgos, you also understand what it is that you're looking for. A lot of you Virgos understand that if you're going to be hanging out with people, it just can't be with just anybody. That's the reason why it is that you're talking to people and you're questioning them to get to know them in the first place. You want to make sure that if you do start hanging out with them, these people don't flip-flop too much or at all. They're consistent with who they first acted like they were. The King of Pentacles now is about how, since this is the case, the King of Pentacles is you being consistent, making sure that what you bring to the table is actually valuable. And it's not, everything is not always just about money. These delusional idiots these days, they like to make everything about money. Everything has to be some form of finances, even though those people can't even generate those finances themselves. But they want all this amount of finances. But a lot of you Virgos understand that it's way more about finances. There's people out here with things that if you were to hang out with them in that way, you can't cure. You got to get to know people to understand if they have those things. Everybody's talking about money. Oh, money this, money that. You don't hear about these things that you can catch that you may not be able to get rid of, or things that you catch that you may not even know that you had. A lot of times too, it's the mentality of, okay, you mess with the person, right? You mess with the person, y'all good. Y'all end up hanging out with each other from that regard. And then what happens? The person starts to go crazy. That's another element of the game that they don't teach you too. A lot of times people spend so much time thinking about that and trying to get in, get off, get out. Yeah, but what a lot of people don't really take into consideration is what would the person be like after y'all hang out in that regard? Then what? The person might start to go crazy after that. Then you have the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords and the Strength represents, a lot of people are perceiving it like a lot of you Virgos are flexing. And maybe you might be. But it's well deserved. Because us as Virgos, we like to keep ourselves humble because we like to see everything. We want to see everything from a bird's eye point of view. But a lot of people end up really getting it twisted because they delude themselves into thinking that they're more powerful and that they're more of a mover and a shaker, and they turn the wheel more than they actually do. So a lot of times we end up having to kind of humble some individuals down because a lot of people like to play stupid. A lot of people like to act like they styling and profiling on you Virgos until you Virgos are like, all right, chill out. And here's why. And then it's like, oh, well, why you had to do that? Why you had to act like you were this character of yourself? Just be real. People will respect you for it. So let's clarify some of these cards. So what does this have to do with relationships? A lot of people who are fake, they're not going to be able to keep up with you. Let's clarify some of these cards. Let's clarify the Strength. The Seven of Cups, Eight of Pentacles, Page of Swords, and then you have the Justice. Right. The Seven of Cups, the Eight of Pentacles. Right. This is a situation for you where the Seven of Cups is really about how it is that you're really in a situation where, not really in a situation, but more so a new way of life, a new beginning. That a lot of you Virgos will be humble when it's necessary, but a lot of you Virgos will also flex and show your power when it's necessary too. Sometimes us as Virgos tend to be a little bit too humble to where it can end up hindering us. But at the same time, you're being humble enough to stay focused on the goal at hand. You handling your business, you minding your business, and you staying out of the way. The Page of Swords and the Justice represents, and if people decide that they want to make you into the hanged man, where they're going to scapegoat you, a lot of you Virgos are going to leave and let those people's lives be their own judgment.